Have you ever pondered the possibility of shifting your size at will, growing as tall as a building or shrinking small enough to sneak through the tightest spaces? This captivating notion of size shifting, the ability to grow or shrink at one's whim, is not a new one. It has long been a staple of science fiction and fantasy, populating our books, movies, and imaginations with intriguing scenarios and thought-provoking dilemmas. But what if this could transcend the realm of fiction? What if you could tower over skyscrapers in one moment and in the next, become minuscule enough to traverse the intricate circuitry of a computer chip? Welcome to our hypothetical exploration of the wonders and challenges of size shifting. The concept of size shifting is deceptively simple. It's about changing your size, right? But as with many things in life, the devil is in the details. The moment we start to peel back the layers of this concept, we are faced with a fascinating array of scientific, biological, societal, environmental, and even philosophical considerations. Imagine the scientific principles that would need to be redefined. The conservation of mass, a fundamental law of physics, posits that mass cannot be created or destroyed. So, for a human to grow or shrink, they would need to somehow acquire or dispose of mass. Consider the biological implications. To grow, your body would need to produce cells at an astonishing rate, gobbling up energy and resources. On the other hand, shrinking would entail reducing your cell count, potentially releasing energy and matter back into the environment. And let's not forget this societal impact. Our buildings, vehicles, public spaces would need a complete overhaul to accommodate size-shifting humans. Not to mention, the economy would have to adapt to new demands for size-adaptive clothing and products. Leaving no stone unturned, we'll also explore the environmental and ethical questions. Could size-shifting disrupt local ecosystems? Would it lead to new forms of discrimination based on one's chosen size? Intrigued yet? Hold on to your hats because we're just scratching the surface. Now, let's delve into the science behind this fascinating concept. Before we can even dream of size shifting, we must first tackle some fundamental scientific principles. Size shifting, as fantastical as it sounds, would need to grapple with the law of conservation of mass, a cornerstone of physics that asserts that mass cannot be created or destroyed. For a human to grow, they would need to acquire additional mass from somewhere, and to shrink, they would need to dispose of mass somehow. The biological implications of this are staggering. To grow larger, the body would need to rapidly produce cells, a process requiring a colossal amount of energy and resources. This could lead to skyrocketing metabolic rates and the need for a substantial increase in food intake. Picture yourself having to consume the equivalent of a banquet spread for every meal just to fuel your growth. On the flip side, shrinking would require the body to reduce its cell count, potentially releasing energy and matter back into the environment. However, this process would not be without its challenges. For instance, how would our body handle the sudden surplus of energy? Would it rush of heat, or perhaps a sudden burst of energy? Moreover, our physiology could pose additional challenges. As we grow, our bones would need to support increased weight. Our hearts would need to pump blood through a larger body, and our lungs would need to supply oxygen to more cells. Similarly, if we were to shrink, our bodies would need to adapt to a smaller scale where even the most minute changes could have significant impacts. These are but a few of the hurdles we would need to overcome. There are countless more complexities to consider, from the effects on our nervous system to the impact on our senses. A simple change in size could fundamentally alter how we perceive and interact with the world around us. Understanding these scientific principles helps us realize the immense challenges that size shifting presents. It's a fascinating concept to explore, but as we can see, turning this science fiction fantasy into reality would require a scientific revolution unlike any we've seen before. Assuming we could overcome these challenges, what might be the benefits of being able to grow or shrink at our whim? Let's begin with the potential advantages of growing. First off, increased size could grant individuals greater physical strength. Imagine being able to lift heavy objects with ease or reach high shelves without the need for a ladder. It's not just about physical capabilities, though. Being larger could provide a psychological advantage in confrontational situations. The intimidation factor of towering over an opponent could be enough to diffuse a conflict before it even begins. But what about shrinking? Well, that too has its own unique set of benefits. Being smaller would allow individuals to move unnoticed in a crowd, offering a level of stealth that could be advantageous in certain situations. Additionally, the ability to access tight spaces that are otherwise inaccessible could open up a whole new world of exploration. Picture being able to venture into the inner workings of a machine or explore the intricate detail of a micro-ecosystem. Beyond these practical considerations, there are also potential environmental benefits to being smaller. A smaller body would require less food and water, which could significantly reduce an individual's ecological footprint. Imagine a world where we could shrink at will to conserve resources, or grow to perform tasks that would otherwise require heavy machinery. But it's not all rosy. With these benefits come potential drawbacks and complications, from the strain on our bodies to the societal implications of size shifting. Nevertheless, the ability to change our size could indeed offer some intriguing advantages. The world would certainly be a different place if we could grow to the size of a giant or shrink down to the size of an ant. It's a fascinating concept, one that invites us to stretch our imagination and consider the possibilities that lie beyond the boundaries of our current reality. The ability to change our size could indeed offer some intriguing advantages. But what about the impact on our society and environment? Could we adapt to a world of size-shifting humans? Our society would need to undergo significant changes. Infrastructure, for example, would need to become incredibly adaptable. Buildings, vehicles, even public spaces would need to accommodate humans of varying sizes. Imagine a world where doorways expand and contract, where cars adjust to fit their drivers, where a park bench could comfortably seat a shrunken adult or a giant child. This would be a world of constant change and adaptation. The economy, too, would face new challenges and opportunities. Traditional industries might struggle to adapt to the fluctuating demands of size-shifting consumers. However, new markets could emerge, particularly for size-adaptive clothing and products. It could be a boom time for innovative businesses willing to cater to a size-shifting clientele. And what about the environment? Sudden changes in human size could disrupt local ecosystems, impacting wildlife and plant life in unforeseen ways. Resource management would also become a critical concern. The ability to grow could lead to increased consumption of natural resources, causing potential strain on our planet. Conversely, the ability to shrink could reduce personal resource usage, offering a unique way to mitigate environmental impact. Clearly, size shifting could have far-reaching implications for our world. This is a concept that challenges our understanding of society and environment, inviting us to reimagine the world as we know it. Beyond the practical considerations, size shifting also raises some profound ethical and philosophical questions. To start, let's consider personal identity. How would our sense of self and body image morph if we could alter our size at will? Would we still recognize ourselves in the mirror if we could grow as tall as a tree or shrink to the size of an ant? These questions delve into the heart of what it means to be human and how our physical form influences our self-perception and identity. Next, we must address the issue of social equality. Size shifting could potentially lead to new forms of discrimination or social stratification based on one's chosen size. The ability to grow tall might be seen as a status symbol, creating a divide between those who choose to be big and those who choose to stay small. And then there are the legal and moral implications. Governments would need to establish laws governing the use of size shifting, particularly in public spaces and interactions. Imagine the chaos if people could grow or shrink at will in crowded places, or the potential misuse of this power for unethical purposes like espionage or theft. The moral dilemmas are numerous. Is it right to change one's size to gain an advantage over others?